Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror, all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to break down a new behind-the-scenes interview with Andi Matichak, who plays Allison in Halloween Ends. Now in this interview, Andi shares what we can expect to see in her character for Halloween Ends. She also opens up about Jamie Lee Curtis and what it's like to work with her in this current Halloween trilogy. And finally, we will hear her thoughts on the Halloween fandom and how she feels we take these movies in stride, even if we do not necessarily agree with the direction that they take. Let's go. So first up in this interview, let's hear what Andi has to say about her character Allison in Halloween Ends.
Allison, at the beginning of this, has gotten into a relatively nice groove, and she's found a stride of being fine. I don't think she's necessarily happy. And, then when she is met with some of the events in this film, she's shown a different side of what life can be, and she does realize that there is a lot underneath that she needs to release and share and be open with in order to move forward.
So this is extremely informative and really gives us some great insight into the mindset of Allison for Ends. Because one of the big questions for me for this movie has been, what will be the mentality of Allison now that Michael has killed her mom and dad, and yes, even Cameron as well? Even though I know they were on the rocks there with the whole phone and the cheese bowl and the whole thing, but there's still, there are still feelings there despite all of that. So all that's tied into it. And I've speculated like many times here and on the Lethal Collective that she may very well be the Laurie Strode type character in Ends, meaning she is now the one filled with anger and bitterness and this insatiable desire to kill Michael, nearing the edge of obsession. So just how Laurie was so determined to kill Michael and was all that was on her mind in in 18 and Kills, that's kind of what I thought easily could have been the case for Allison in Ends. But what I find very interesting in Andi's comments is that it sounds like she's not at all in that type of mindset. I mean, she even says that Allison, quote, at the beginning of Ends, has gotten into a relatively nice groove and has found a stride of, quote, being fine, but she's not exactly happy. But even that's way different than what I was anticipating could be the case. So it looks like, at least as the movie begins, we're going to see her in this state of, being fine, quote, in a relatively nice groove, being fine, even though she's not exactly happy. So, I get that. And that makes sense as well. And so it looks like they're not choosing to take the route of her being so obsessed with Michael every minute of the day that she's, he's all she thinks about and wanting to put an end to him. Now, I do also find it interesting that in the interview, she also says, that then she is met, Allison is met with some of the events of this film, and she's shown a different side of what life can be. And she realizes that there's a lot underneath that she needs to release and share and be open with in order to move forward. So perhaps she just buried a lot of those initial feelings that she had, and they're still there. And then as Michael returns, or perhaps, something happens with Corey, that triggers things, it basically makes her become aware that she has to come to terms with these feelings, with these issues and things that she's been keeping underneath, pressed down. And she's got to let them out so she can move forward with her life, as she says. She needs to be able to move forward. She's got to address them and discuss them. So while it may not start off with her being overly obsessed, maybe she may start off showing signs of normality in her life. We know that, as per what she said, that she's not happy, and those feelings are reminded to her as the movie progresses and things happen. She's reminded of those things and she has to deal with them. And then we could see her slowly maybe turn into that character that a lot of us were all thinking we were going to see from the beginning. But we will find out. Okay, now let's hear what Andi says about working with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis is a badass. She goes in and she works her tail off. Her commitment to what she does is so next level that it elevates everybody around her. It was really lovely to be able to sink in and be on set with her more, and she's just a masterclass in everything she does in terms of how she handles herself, who she is as a person, her approach to the craft, her generosity to her fellow actors, and getting to work opposite her, it makes my life much easier because she's just so connected and present and there for you all the time.
I recently had Ashley Ray Riddick as a guest on my channel, who is Jamie Lee Curtis's stunt double in the current Halloween trilogy. And everything that Ashley shared about Jamie Lee Curtis is echoed here by Andi Matichak, which I think is really cool. And it says a lot when you see fellow co-stars and those who worked with JLC all say the same thing about her and what she brings to the film, and fellow cast through her attitude, her work ethic, and her treatment of people. And you just love to see that when you see it among multiple people. And Andi here specifically mentions that JLC is so next level that it elevates everyone around her, and that she is a master class in everything that she does. And again, that is exactly along the lines of what Ashley had mentioned as well, working close with her as her stunt double, and that Jamie Lee Curtis really brings this passion, this excitement, this energy, this fire to the set in her role and everything that she does. And it's infectious. It spreads around, and it brings everyone else's performances up, which is what Andi is saying here. It elevates everyone around her because they want to be at that same level. They want to rise above just, the average norm to reach that level, which is great. And then Andi says that getting to work opposite of her makes her life much easier because JLC is so connected and present and there for you all the time. So once again, just re-echoing that experience to work with her and what that's like and how much it's affected this film. I think these films, the cast and crew, it's all the way around. And James Jude Courtney alluded to this recently also in one of his convention appearances about how everyone cares, like even all the way down to the food service folks. I mean, it doesn't matter what your role is. Everyone cares about this trilogy, these films and ends, and making it as good as it could possibly be, could be done. So I'm glad to hear that, and I'm excited to see it on screen on October 14th. And finally, guys, Andi had this to say about the Halloween fandom.
The fandom that is with this film is real, and it's huge, and it is iconic, and everybody has such a strong opinion and thought and passion for what we do. And even if they don't necessarily agree with the approach we've taken on something or a storyline here or a swing here, they still appreciate it. And at the end of the day, they're just really happy that we are giving them another Michael Myers movie.
It really seems that Andi's in touch with the Halloween fandom. I love how she acknowledges her own awareness that the fan base are not just clones, that we're not just clones that line up and follow and love every single thing that every single sequel does, and that, if you're not, or if you disagree with something, or you don't like something in a movie, you're not a fan. None of that stuff, none of that mess. The fact of the matter is, as fans, we have the right to love it. We have the right to not love it, or we have the right to just say it's okay. It's all right. That's the thing about being a fan. You're going to have some of these sequels that you like better than others, but that doesn't mean that you're a hater or that you're not a fan of the franchise or the films. And so I love seeing that someone here who is actually in the movie, a key prominent player in the film, is showing her own awareness that we are not clones. We're not just these robots that say, yes, this is wonderful, even if we don't like everything about it. And I appreciate the fact that she said that everyone has such a strong opinion and thought and passion for what we do, even if they don't necessarily agree with the approach that we've taken on something, or a storyline here, or a swing here. They still appreciate it. And at the end of the day, they're just really happy that we are giving them another Michael Myers movie. And I say ditto to that. I think that's exactly what it is. The fan base is very opinionated. We all have very strong opinions. We all have a passion for this franchise. And when you start mixing emotion, passion, and feelings, then it's going to get crazy sometimes. It may get really, I don't want to say heated, but it could, if you don't keep it in check, it can get there for sure. But I love the fact that she is not blind to this idea, that she doesn't just assume, because, the name of our movie is Halloween, that every single person is just going to love the movie. I love the fact that she's aware of our passion and how we don't necessarily agree sometimes with a storyline idea or something that they've done, but we do still appreciate it. And that's true. I believe that's the case. I've talked to many of you guys now for a long period of time. And I know that even on those movies that you're not crazy about in the franchise, you still support the franchise. You still appreciate the fact that they went for it, that they made a movie. We got another Michael Myers movie. Michael Myers movie is, let's be happy. Whether or not we're 100% on board with all the decisions made, that's probably never going to be the case, or rarely the case at least. So I love, though, that she knows that, she's acknowledging that. And she says here at the end that, we still appreciate it. And at the end of the day, they're just really happy for giving them another Michael Myers movie. And that's true. Because we've gone through some dark periods, guys. Some lean years of no movies and long absences between sequels. And so this has been a treat, getting 3 movies this close together. So let's go out and with the bang here on October the 14th. I cannot wait. All right. So guys, I want to know what you think about Andi Matichak's comments. I want to hear your opinions, thoughts, ideas, and theories about what you now expect to see in Halloween Ends. And just over 3 weeks now. 3 weeks from Friday. So just over 3 weeks, we'll be there to usher in the new and final chapter of this trilogy. So leave your comments below right now in the comments section so that we can discuss it together. Well, that's going to be it for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Halloween Ends and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.